I have on the phone right now?
Kerry Lathan.
How you doing, Kerry?
I'm the one that got shot with Nipsey.
Exactly. Really just a tragedy overall in terms of what happens. My, extreme apologies for what happened and also how you got treated afterwards. How are you doing right now?
I'm hopeful talking to you, but I'm feeling bad as hell because I don't have no pain meds, nothing. They pass me by. They don't treat me. They treat everybody else in the ward. They don't treat me. First they say I'm here for a parole violation. I said, okay, I can go for that. Then they say, well, no, that's not your charge. What's my charge? Oh, you are eyewitness. I said, well, which one is it? Eyewitness or a parole violation? What is it? It's a conspiracy. What is it? Come on, man. Tell me. Talk to me, man. I just did 25 years to life and gave it back to him clean. I spent 5 hours in the board of prison terms defending myself. Went from 11 to 4. Come on. Tell me what's happening. Y'all released me, and now you want to put me back in prison for coming in contact with a gang member who's really a voice of peace of the public? Which is it? They got to make heads or tails of what's going on, man. I'm not feeling it, but I'm hopeful talking to you.
Well, where are you located right now?
I'm in Central County Jail.
Okay.
7,000 floor.
And just so people understand kind of the full story of what happened, what did you originally get convicted of, and what year was that?
My original conviction?
Yeah.
Was murder.
Okay.
94.
Okay.
That was the year 94.
Okay. And how old were you when you got convicted originally?
Around 32 or 31.
Okay. And they gave you how long for that?
26 years of life, because it was done with a knife. So they put another year on it, so that made 26.
Okay. And how long did you end up serving altogether?
About 24 and some months, about 25 years.
Okay. And you got out last year?
Yeah, I got out last year about 3 months before December.
Okay. And I guess you had a daughter when you first went in?
Yeah, I had a daughter when I first went in. She was 5. When I came home, she was 29.
Okay. So what was it like to do that many years and then suddenly walk out and be kind of reacclimated into the outside world again?
It was strange. My granddaughter by my other child, who ain't never seen me before, knew how to work a phone better than I did at 9 years old.
Okay, so you get out into the free world again, and this was around, 7 months ago, I guess?
Yeah, 7 months ago.
Okay. And once you're out in the system, how are you, kind of reacclimating into society and sort of getting back on your feet?
Well, I was letting people give me money and help me and show me which way is the right way. Like Eugene Henley. He gave me some money. He said, look, man, it's going to take a little while, but you back. So just take it one day at a time. I said, okay. He said, don't let it overwhelm you. Just take it one day at a time. We were raised up together, me and Eugene.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all might know him as Big U.
Yeah, who's actually on the phone right now, who helped set up this phone call.
Right. Man, I think he's the one that discovered Nipsey.
Yeah, he was. He first signed Nipsey, and we actually went into that whole story.
Yeah.
Okay. So did you know of Nipsey before, while you were locked up before, or any of that sort?
No, he was a kid, a child. He probably was 8 years old or 7 when I got locked up.
Right. So you had no affiliation with him at all?
At all. Not at all.
At all. Got it.
Somebody gave me a couple of pictures, say, hey, that's the new rapper. I said, is that right? Yeah. So when I got out, I took a selfie with him. He's a celebrity. Everybody's taking selfies. Let me take one. That's on my phone. in front of the Marathon store.
Okay. So the day of the incident, can you describe what happened exactly?
Me and my nephew were going up the street to console somebody else's parents because they just lost their parents. So he said, "You don't have to keep wearing that shirt, Unc." I was like, "What?" He said, "This shirt." I said, "It's clean." He said, "Look, it's dingy. You're in the new world. You're not in prison no more. You can pull right." He said, "Matter of fact, they go Nipsey in a lot, so you could pull right in and grab you a fresh white shirt." I'm like, "Okay." So when I go in there, they didn't have the white ones that I wanted. And I said, when y'all going to get that in again?" He said, "Well, they go Nipsey in a lot. Go talk to him." And I talked to him. He said, that'll be about a week, bro. I said, "Okay." And when I said it, it was all bad. The gunman turned around the car and shot me, then shot Nipsey. And then shot my nephew. I didn't know what was going on. I'm like, what the hell? You know, but I fell on my stomach. And all I could see was people's feet. I couldn't see nothing else. I said, so they got it wrong. They talk about me as being an eyewitness. What was I supposed to do? When I see a gun, I turn around and run. I don't stop and take a selfie of the gunman. I don't do that.
Yeah.
I ain't no fool. You see a gun, you run.
Okay. So the whole shooting happened. You get hit, your nephew gets hit.
In less than 3 seconds, 3 minutes. I was only if you replay the scenario and see when the black Escalade van truck pulled up, that's us in the black truck. It all happened in less than three minutes.
Okay. Because I guess this is why I kind of want to clarify this with you on the phone. Like the story that was circulating was that you and Nipsey knew each other and he was meeting you down there to give you some clothes and you guys had some sort of prior relationship. But what you're saying is that you had no idea, you guys didn't know each other at all. You just showed up and you ran into each other randomly.
No, I know him because I took a few pictures with him.
Right.
Like that. But so the parole officer was like, "Well, you have gang affiliation." I said, "Look, man, I know Nipsey about as much as I know you. You my parole officer. I met you. We've talked a few times. That's as far as I know him."
Yeah.
Now, when I first came home, Nipsey heard that I was home, and he filled up my little sister's backseat of her car with clothing for me.
Got it.
So I had clothes to wear. I was out 7 months before this happened.
This big you. Nipsey, he always look out for people when they come home. You know what I mean? He don't always be at the store all the time. But if he at the store and somebody just paroled, he don't have to know him to look out for him. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
He'll hear somebody that just came home, and he might tell somebody that's working in the store that day, look out for the homie, he just came home. That's just what kind of person he was. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's very important in this whole situation. That this is what Nipsey was just doing for everybody that was just coming home. Everybody.
Yeah, he looked out for. He don't even. You got to remember, Nipsey is younger than all of the old dudes who coming home now. These dudes don't even know Nipsey. Nipsey don't know none of these dudes. Because cousin Kerry is older than me. I'm 52. He's 56. So if he just did 25 years, Nipsey would not know him. But if Nipsey know you got respect and use the respect to do, he gonna do. Like, I gave Cousin Kerry money when he came home. Nipsey gave him clothes. But, Nipsey done this for thousands of people. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Countless.
That's just that's just the kind of cat he was. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely. Okay. So the shooting happened and the gunman leaves. How badly did you get injured yourself?
I got hit in close to the spine, and
wow.
They said it chipped a part of my pelvis. So it's very difficult for me to walk. And these people up here told me to self-medicate. I said, "What's that?" And they said, "Hey, we're going to give you a bag of medicine." And I got it, and I'm like, "This is Tylenol, man. What up?"
Wow.
They said, "Well, this is all we can give you." I said, "Well, I came with my medicine, but they gave that back to my parole officer and said, no, he won't be needing this." I said, this is what the doctor prescribed. They said, we got you. We got our own medicine here. And
so you're actually
no more.
So you're actually in a wheelchair right now.
I'm in a wheelchair as we speak. Sitting by a tray slot on the door.
So the shooting happened, and you get taken to the hospital, and then they put you in a wheelchair. Right. And you're thinking, okay, the worst part is now over at least. And then what happens with your parole officer after that?
Well, the hospital started playing games with the pain medicine, and one lady told me something about, well, I'm sorry, it was another person more emergency. I said, emergency is emergency. There is no more person than the next person. I said, you should watch your mouth because that can lose you. You can end up losing your job behind that. I said, but I tell you what, I'll leave this hospital. Just give me a prescription, and I'll go back to the halfway house. So I went back to the halfway house, and I took the medicine, and I laid down. And they said, okay, well, cool. So I was there a couple of days, and the parole officer came and said, oh, this is the one that's over me. I said, okay. So the one that was over him talked to me and interviewed me and stuff, and he left. So they came back again 2 days later with a third parole officer. I'm like, what's going on now? They said, well, we gotta take you into custody. I said, for what? He said, it's over our pay grade. It ain't us. It's up over it's higher than us. I said, what do you mean? He said, well, it's like parole board. I said, yeah. Okay, well, let's go. If I gotta go, I gotta go. But I was in a meeting when they took me out of the meeting at the place. I'm like, okay. So they take me to my room. They take my chain off, and they take the money the Big U gave me. So they said, okay. I said, I'll just leave it here until I come back. He said, yeah. Well, you might come back. You might not. You could come back tomorrow. I said, well, I don't need to carry it if I'm coming back tomorrow. He said, all right. So when I get here, they said, well, you're here for parole violation. I said, for what? Well, coming into contact with a known gang member. I said, man, I ain't coming into contact with nobody. I was visiting some people, going to pay respects to a person's father who just passed away. My buddy, Ronnie. His father just died that Sunday. So that's all I was doing. And I was just going to change my shirt so I could look presentable in front of their people. That's it. And when I stopped over there with Nip, I got shot.
And they violated your parole over that.
And they violated my parole on that. Because first they said, we didn't see you did nothing wrong. Nobody said you did nothing wrong.
No, his parole hasn't been actually violated yet. He has to go to a hearing. They can't just violate it, so it's a process. So that's what we're trying to prevent him from violating his parole. He hasn't actually been violated yet.
Well, that's actually better news than what's being presented. I mean, everything out there is saying that you actually violated parole and you're not going back to prison. Like, at least there's still a process that's left.
Yeah, it's still a process. Okay. There's still a process right now, so that's why we hollered at two attorneys right now, and we're trying to raise money for him to have some money when he come home, because now but the fact that he's in a wheelchair and he's been shot, he's not gonna be able to do no work. He can barely walk, and over the last couple of days, he's losing the use of his legs. Like, tell him about the swelling in your legs.
Yeah, my left leg, off where your knee is down to your ankle, is swelling up and it's getting numb. And I'm like, it's probably because that bullet hit a nerve or something. Because my foot, I can't even hardly feel my foot, like when your foot go to sleep. But that's how my whole left side feel right now, where the bullet went in. And that's kind of bad.
How many times did you actually get shot?
Once.
Sorry.
But when they hit me, it put me on the ground. You know, I couldn't get up. I could feel my legs, but I couldn't get up. And without your pelvis, you can't move or do nothing.
Yeah. Okay.
I landed on my stomach.
Now, how's your nephew doing, by the way?
He's okay. The bullet hit his belt buckle. So I said, that's God all day. You know, he was like, there go my uncle. He dead. I said, look, man, I'm not dead. Calm down. Are you all right? And he said, the bullet hit my belt buckle and there it go on the ground. I said, okay, well, I'm cool. You all right? He said, just grazed him a little bit. I said, all right, that's cool. You know, we all right. I said, but Nip ain't.
Yeah. I mean, pretty amazing story about the belt buckle, though, I got to say.
Yeah.
Okay. So, in the very worst case, if they violate your parole, what's going to happen?
They're going to have me do life again for coming in contact with a gang member, a known gang member. And he was a community activist. He's going to see the police chief the next day.
So you could potentially go back to prison for life for stopping by and getting a T-shirt.
Yeah. For violating parole.
That's not right.
And I just did life.
That's just not right.
Yeah, well, you can't solve a problem with the same mind that created it, man. You know, we didn't create this. They did.
Well, you know, the problem is, Vlad, what we trying to address is not only just with him. We trying to address the women that want people parole, because he paroled to a halfway house, and in the halfway house had nothing but gang members. He just did 25 years with nothing but gang members. His family and everybody. So you can't have a rule that says if you come in contact with gang members, and these are the only people he knows. You know, he had to come in contact with somebody he knew to help him. When you parole, they give you $200. They give you $200 and then what? How do you get a job? Who's going to help you? Where do you go to live? It's ridiculous. We need to change that rule. You know what I mean?
That's what we do.
It's the rule that's a problem. And because he's on life parole, so what happens is, if you parole and you don't have a life, and you didn't have a life sentence, the max they can give you on your parole violation is up to a year, or the rest of your time. Because he was a lifer, he's forever on life parole. So he can be violated for any number of times from 10 years to life again. You understand what I'm saying? So they can make a choice and say, we're not going to violate you for the whole life term. We're only going to violate you for, 10 years. 5 years. So it's really at the behest of the parole board. But this is for the fact that the police department, the police can pull you over and they can say, hey, ask everybody, is anybody on parole? If you're a lifer, if you were to have you on parole, then anybody can be judged and labeled as a gang member. You can be put in Cal gangs for just being pulled over with somebody who's a known gang member, and then they do an FI card on you, and now they induct you in the Cal gangs. LA is too big. There's too many people gang affiliated. And it's too easy for officers to make people gang members. And there's no way to get out of it. Like, you're forever a gang member.
Yeah, that part.
Yeah, man, this whole situation doesn't make any sense. You know, and this is why I felt it was important. This is why I reached out to Big U and said, hey, you know, can we get Kerry on the phone and have him tell a story? We use our platform and the millions of people who watch it, you know, to see if they can make a difference. You know, I know that right now you're in a bad situation financially as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to post a link for people to be able to send money to you. You know, Nipsey has millions and millions of fans, and, you know, you're so tied to a story that I think that his fans would really care about what's happening to you right now. So we'll go ahead and, you know, you could click the link below, and you could actually send money to Kerry and put money on his books. Listen, man, I hope this thing gets worked out. I mean, even the chief of police spoke highly about Nipsey when he heard the news. You know,
President Obama spoke highly of him.
President Obama spoke highly of him. There you go. You know, so I can't understand that if you just take a step back and look at this whole story, why would you even be in there right now?
Right. But there's some trickery going on.
Yeah.
Some subterfuge.
Yeah, man. Well, listen, I mean, I'm very sorry about what's happening to you right now. It's a very unfair situation. You know,
The
I
travesty
hope,
of his misjustice.
I agree. You know, I'm sorry that you're in a wheelchair right now and you don't have the type of care that you deserve, you know, that every, you know, American citizen deserves, to be, you know, honest. I'm sorry that you had to see Nipsey pass in such a manner. And I know that's something that's never going to
Like
go away.
2 feet away from it.
You know. Yeah, man. It's just fucking sad. The whole situation is sad. But hopefully, you know, we could get enough awareness on this where it's going to put a little bit of pressure on the people who make these types of decisions to do the right thing.
Yeah, you know, that law needs to be changed completely because my parole officer said, I don't see no reason to violate you. I said, okay. So then the next parole officer, about a week, two days later, said, well, I don't even see no reason to violate you. I said, okay. And then the other one said, not even me. So the next day, they said, they came with cuffs and stuff. So what's going on? He said, it's not from us, man. It's from higher up. What do you mean? He said, it's out of our hands. You know, it's like the parole board. I said, yeah? That's crazy. I ain't done nothing. I'm a victim. He said, we know, we agree. But they told us to bring you in and do this. I said, okay. I'm going to abide by your law. You know, because I ain't never seen a person go to jail for not doing nothing. I ain't did nothing. Yet I'm going to jail.
Yeah, I mean, you're actually in jail right now.
Right now, as we speak.
Yeah, man. Well, listen, we're going to do our part in all this. Big U, I appreciate you in setting this all up. And, you know, let's see if, you know, between what we do and you know, the community and all of Nipsey's fans, if we could try to make a change in this,
man.
Absolutely,
yeah,
man. It's my pleasure.
That's what we're trying to do, period. Change the system.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Big U, man, I appreciate you setting up this call, man. Kerry, keep your head up, man. I really feel that in a short period of time, this is all going to be fixed.
Okay.
Appreciate
Thank you very much.
No doubt. We'll talk soon. All right, you. Peace.